भगवते वासुदेवाय.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
You see my screen?
Yep.
So the last verse we had read was 2.59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Touch a little bit on this verse more. What do you understand from this verse? Yes. Think about it.
Vishaya Vinivartante Nira. Can I look at the translation?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the translation says, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of sense remains. The taste of sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
So what did we discuss? What do you say?
Yeah, we discussed about terminating the senses from the sense objects, and that can only happen when the senses are engaged in something higher and more powerful.
Wonderful. Who is the master of senses?
Mind.
Gudakesha, Krishna. No, Rishikesha. Rishikesh. That's Krishna.
Correct. And you're also right, Vishaka, that mind actually controls the senses. So both of you are right. So what is the difference? Who is the master?
In the end, it's Krishna.
So if both of you are right, who is the master?
Krishna resides within us. The super soul also resides within us.
Okay.
So the
So
master,
how is, yeah.
the master here is, it's our karma.
No, we will stick to Krishna and mind.
Okay.
So you both are right. Mind is also the master of senses. Krishna is also the master of senses as Rishikesh. What is the difference? Why do we call them both as a master of senses?
Is Krishna the master of all senses? And we are the master of our senses, the mind.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. So when you try to understand this, our senses are controlled by who?
By our mind.
Correct. So for us, mind is the master of our senses because whatever is in our mind is actually what the senses want to do. Correct? Correct? So how is Krishna the master of senses? Because there are many things which are happening within us. We don't even know. For example, digestion. We only come to know about digestion when there is an indigestion. Otherwise, we take it for granted. Whatever I eat, it will be digested. Correct? Who is digesting it? There is an automation, right? Inside.
Yes.
The thing is that nothing is automatic. Correct? This term automation or automatic, there is someone who is running it behind. Even when we talk about technology, automation, there is someone who has written the code which is running. अपने आप कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
You see a door which opens automatically. Yes, but there is a software, there is a program, there is a sensor behind it. Someone has created it. So he's controlling it. There is something which is controlling that sensor. And if that sensor is not controlled by that hardware and software and whatever technology it is behind it, someone is controlling it. If it is not controlled, it will not
It
function.
won't work. Mm.
Simple, right? So there is nothing called as automatic. Right? When we say automatic, there is some person behind it. So when we say that our mind is the controller of the senses, mind is only directing based on our thoughts and our liking and disliking. That's what the senses do when our mind is in action. Correct? Yes? Agreed? Not agreed?
Yes.
मन को अच्छा लगा?
दिमाग में जा नहीं रहा एक्चुअली.
क्यों? क्या डिफिकल्टी है?
Because last time when we were discussing, this is a long time ago,
हाँ.
we said that Krishna is also called Rishikesh because he's a master of all our senses.
Correct.
So where is this mind coming from?
There you go. This is what we discussed just now.
लेकिन वो भेजे में नहीं जा रहा है.
अच्छा.
How can a mind be is equal to Krishna?
No, he's not equal to Krishna. Who said that?
I think Anilji is talking about the senses or the things that are beyond our perception. Like he gave the example of digestion,
Digestion, yes.
that all those are controlled by Krishna. And the five senses that we are aware of are the only ones under our mind's control. That's my understanding.
Very nice to start with. Yes.
Mm.
So that is a fundamental understanding, right? So things that we don't know are also functioning.
Yeah, that is managed by Krishna.
We'll come to
Okay.
that understanding later. But yeah, for starting point, yes, we don't even know certain processes which are happening within our body. Who's doing that?
Mm.
Digestion, breathing.
Breathing.
You see, it's automatic. We take it for granted that we are breathing. Yeah?
Mm.
कैसे वो breathing अंदर हो रहा है, कैसे हमको पहुंच रहा है, how it is going into our bloodstream, how the oxygen is going into the bloodstream. We don't know all that. Do we know what's happening inside? We only know that the nose is breathing.
Mm.
Correct? And there is a process which is happening every fraction of a second. Correct?
And
And
not just in human beings, like even in plants,
absolutely,
photosynthesis.
absolutely.
Mm.
The life is running. So you see, these are senses. Yes. These are subtle senses we don't even know. Now, when we say that a mind is actually directing our senses through mind, we are only using our senses through mind.
Mm.
Actually, there will be a time where we may not be able to breathe, right? The nose will be still there, but वो उसके पीछे का system गया.
Mm.
So those natural things which are happening automatically, hands, legs, all these walking functions, all these functions that are happening through our body, we're taking for granted. We're entitled to it, ना? सब कुछ हो रहा है अपने आप. फिर जब नहीं function करता, we get suddenly surprised. अरे यार ये क्या हो गया? Yeah. So that the functioning behind it is Krishna. That is where the supreme comes into picture. There has to be a person behind the automation. That's what I explained, right?
Yeah.
So this is how you relate Rishikesha, how he is the actual controller of our or master of our senses.
Mm.
So what is our function? अगर सब कुछ ऑटोमेटिकली हो रहा है और वो कंट्रोल कर रहा है और हमारा माइंड खाली डायरेक्ट कर रहा है, सो व्हाट आर वी सपोज टू डू एंड हु आर वी? सो लॉजिक है ना? You see where I'm coming from and where I'm going? Doesn't that make a question that who are we? If the senses we don't know is happening, then who am I? Who am I? So who am I? Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita, who am I? Who are we? We are
Conditioned souls.
souls, correct. So we are souls. So what does soul do? What is the function of a soul?
To desire.
Perfect. And desire, that is one, and that is its free will.
Mm.
Now, if you desire what your mind likes, then you are not going to the right source. Okay. But if you desire what the actual source likes, then it becomes very simple to function. And that process is called bhakti. Otherwise, it is called bhog. This makes sense?
Yes.
So what does this verse say? Still seeing my screen?
Yes.
So what did we discuss? Vishaya vinivartante. What is Vishaya? The sense objects. Vinivartante means terminating.
Terminate.
Yeah, terminate.
Not resign, dominate.
Terminate.
You explain the
Now,
difference between resigning and terminating.
correct. So nivartante means resignation.
Yeah.
Vinivartante means visheshena nivartante. That means special resignation, termination. Suddenly, box उठा के दे दिए जाओ घर पे. That is termination. So, why is that discipline required? Why is that force required? Because your senses will not say ever that मेरा हो गया अभी. I'm satisfied. I do not want sense objects anymore. ऐसा कभी नहीं बोलेगा. घूम फिर के वो आ जाएगा. For example, say you give up meat, no problem. But over a period of time, वापस कहीं भी दिख जाएगा अच्छा कोई खा लिया वापस. So senses are not going to go away. But doesn't mean that you force them. नहीं यार मेरे को नहीं खाना है कल से बंद. I will force myself. You won't be able to. Correct? नहीं कर पाओगे ना उसको ऐसा.
Correct.
नहीं कर सकते. इसीलिए ये दूसरी लाइन है यहाँ पे. यहाँ पे खत्म नहीं होता है ये वर्स. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिन. Because these senses, to practice this termination by these negative restrictions you give them, okay, नहीं मेरे को खाना है, नहीं करना है ये सब. उसके लिए क्या करना है? That is the second line. It is that you have to experience rasavarjam rasopyasya. Rasavarjam means a higher taste. जो अभी हमको टेस्ट मिल रहा है, मजा आ रहा है जिस सेंसेस में से ना, उससे बेटर टेस्ट हमको मिलेगा तो ही हम इसको छोड़ पाएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं छोड़ेंगे. सेकेंड लाइन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Until you experience a higher taste, you will not be able to cease or terminate your existing taste. Make sense? And the reason is because we cannot detach until we attach somewhere. इसके लिए पहला फोकस डिटैचमेंट पे कभी नहीं करना.
That will happen automatically
If you
once
attach.
it is attached somewhere else, which is of higher taste.
Exactly. You take, for example, anything. Forget about the sense objects. I will take up relationships. Very simple. It is very difficult to come over your old relationship. But, big but, if you get a new relationship which is much better than the previous, you भूल जाओगे previously. Correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. Is it making sense?
Yes, perfect sense.
तो डिटैचमेंट पे फोकस नहीं करना है. हम लोग क्या फोकस करते हैं शुरू में? मैंने कंठी पहन ली, मैंने चैंटिंग शुरू कर दी, अब कल से सब बंद. वो 2 दिन चलेगा. तीसरे दिन क्या हो गया ना, उस दिन एक पार्टी में चला गया मैं. तो वहां पे ना अच्छा मस्त सब कुछ बन रहा था और पीने को भी था, तो मैं बैठ गया. सॉरी, बहुत सुना है ऐसा. दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. द प्रॉब्लम इज इफ यू आर रिमोर्स बाय दैट. If you feel that you have done something wrong after that, it is good that you feel that, but do not be harsh on yourself कि यार ये मैंने क्या कर दिया. ग्लानी मत लाओ. रिमोर्स ठीक है. रिमोर्स और ग्लानी में पता नहीं मेरे को फर्क है कि नहीं. रिमोर्स जो है अंदर तक लेमेंट करना, रे मैंने क्या कर दिया, ये मैंने गलत कर दिया, ये मैंने उल्टा सीधा कर दिया, that will not take you anywhere. But if there is a feeling that maybe I have done something wrong, that a small light, that you might come up with that sense which is affecting you. So I'll just finish this statement, Kalpesh, and then. So do not focus on that what you have done wrong. Focus on something which is better than this. Yeah. Today actually I was cooking dal. Wanted to give bhoga to the Lord. I tried everything, and luckily everything went very well. Generally, I don't cook dal. I make dosa and other things. Other thing my wife prepares. So today I prepared this, and it went very well. My, uh, I gave it to my neighbors also. So he said that we have prepared barbecue chicken today because being Sunday.
మామ కూడా తింటా వచ్చింది కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకి వీళ్ళకి అప్పులు ఇచ్చుకుంటా వచ్చింది తిక్కదాని లెక్క అవి పెట్టుకొని తిక్కది కాదులే దాంట్లో ఎంత లాభం వస్తుందని తింటారు.
I've muted
Okay.
him.
Yeah. So he said being Sunday, we prepared barbecued chicken. And he doesn't know much about my practice because I don't, tell everyone that we practice Hare Krishna. So he said, I was about to bring the chicken to your house, but you came before me and you gave me this. Now we are not going to eat this. This is so delicious. And they had all their croquettes and this and that and butter thing. And he said, can I dip and eat? Hey, you do whatever. You can eat with the rice also. You can eat with your bread or whatever. And they all ate that. Just loved it. The chicken was gone. I'm not saying that it will go away forever. Maybe they'll eat in the evening or something. But my point is, there is taste available, a better taste available. And if you taste that, you might be able to overcome the old taste. And then there was a discussion when I came back home. My daughter was a medical science student. She was arguing with me. Not arguing, it was a nice debate, not arguing. So good discussions. The chicken has more protein than dal. I said, okay, then 3 cups of dal will be equal to 1 chicken breast because 32 gram of protein in chicken is equal to 3 cups of green lentils, and you don't have to eat it at once. You eat it at 60 minutes portion. It will really give you better, and put a slice of lemon in it. It may even digest well than the chicken. For that, you may have to drink red wine, which is more harmful. So ultimately, the bottom line was there is an alternative. But are we tasting that? That's the question. So when I have been asked, or I tell someone anything, or these discussions, first thing is that, do I have a new alternative? Do I have a better alternative? Is it better than the existing one? Have I tasted that? And if I have tasted that and it is better then it is your intelligence to do right or wrong. Then you start analyzing whether I should take that or this. I'm not saying that immediately you will give up on this, but that seed will be sown in your mind that there is an alternative. And then you feel that thing when you eat that, oh, there is an alternative. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Then it becomes logical. Then the logic comes into picture. That's where you start churning. So you challenge yourself. This is what the verse is. That basically you only can seize your negative engagements by experiencing a higher taste. Yes, Kalpesh.
Prabhuji, sometime back you said that you have to sometimes discipline yourself
Yes.
to not to do certain activities or to do certain activities.
Yeah.
But now we are saying that okay, if you have done something wrong, then or not wrong, if you've done something that is not necessary, or it's to just to satisfy a sense, then it's okay. You can try and find an alternative, a higher taste. So at once here we are saying first discipline yourself, and then we are saying that you don't need to discipline.
It's not okay to do something wrong, but it is bad to feel remorse deeply or lament after doing something wrong. It's definitely not okay to do something wrong.
But see, if someone had few drinks,
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and if he's feeling bad next day, what's wrong in that? Like,
No,
why
it's
the
not
emotion
bad.
bad?
It's not bad to feel bad, but it is bad to feel lamented. You know what is lamented? Constantly thinking about that I'm not able to give up this alcohol.
Okay.
Instead, my point is that you focus on attaching yourself to better.
Yeah.
It's about the focus. It is not about, it's in human nature. You might feel bad, but don't get remorse. Do not get lamented by it. Do not constantly think about this negative thought. Try to attach yourself to a higher taste. Let that higher taste take you away from this lower taste. It will be easy. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So this is a beautiful verse. If we understand this, it actually gives a lot of thought. A lot of thought. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse now. Point 60.
Hello.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, everyone is paused, I think, for some reason. I can
Yeah,
hear you, Prabhuji, now. Hello.
I think
Can you
Anilji
hear me?
paused. Your video has frozen.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I can hear you
We
now.
can hear you, but I think you can't hear us.
Okay, but you're still able to hear me, right?
Yeah, your video has frozen.
Okay. No, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
What I will do, I'll stop the share and see if that makes a difference. I'm trying to stop the share. I'm not able to. Yeah, it's doing something now. You still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's loading verse 60.
Yeah. I've closed all my other screens. It's
It
taking
looks
some
like
time.
there is some net issue at your end, Prabhuji.
Yeah. It's taking long to load a page.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not your laptop or the browser. It looks more like an internet issue.
Okay. Is it better?
No, your page has not
Like,
loaded yet.
hmm. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, and your videos also, I think it's coming back.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think that page has taken
Yeah. Your video is back
some.
and we can hear you as well.
I'll close all my screens. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay. Does it make a difference? Now?
No, there is no screen share.
I think he
Okay.
stopped his screen
Yeah.
share.
Yeah. What I will do, just close some of my applications because I think it's slowing down the whole process from my end.
Mhm.
I think from your end is okay. It's just my side of things. Sure. Yeah.
I got you. I think his video is frozen again.
You able to hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Okay, cool.
but your video
So
is frozen, but that's fine.
yeah, I think it will come back soon now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Better?
Yes.
But are you
Okay.
sharing
I'll
anything?
just, yeah, I'll share it now.
Okay.
Okay, much better now. I think my Chrome had too many sessions open, too many Bhagavad Gita sessions open.
Oh.
Yeah. So Chrome was utilizing a lot of memory.
Mm.
Yeah, it says that low system resources is affecting your
Bandwidth, internet bandwidth.
yeah. So trying to open Chrome. Okay. It's um, okay. Oh, the system is stable now. I think it should open Chrome now. Come on. Yeah, it's doing something. Yes. Okay. Now 2.60 should come up on your screen. Yeah.
It says Anil has started screen sharing. Double click to enter full screen mode. But I can't see the screen yet. Yeah, I can now.
Now it has come. Yeah. Now it has come through.
Please repeat after me. Yatato yapi kaunteya
Yatato
Yatato hi api kaunteya
purushasya vipaschitah
purusasya
Purushasya
vipaschitaha
indriyani pramathini
Indriyani
indriyani pramathini
haranti prasabham manah.
Bharat
haranti prasabham manaha.
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjun, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So, even if you are trying to control them or trying to discipline your senses, you will not be able to, because they're very strong. Yeah. You see the next verse. Tani sarvani sanyamya
Ani sarva
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yukta asita matparaha
yukta
आसीत
asita
मत्परः
vashe hi yasya indriyani
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratisthita.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठा.
One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. So the senses are very strong, that they will not allow you to control their own selves. So what is the solution Krishna gives in this verse? You have to fix your consciousness about on me. So first thing is that you don't focus on the negative, number one. You focus on attaching to something new. How you do it, Krishna tells you now. So at the time when there are these sense objects troubling you to enjoy them, your senses not allowing you to get to control them, not allowing you to control those senses, what is the way out? This is what Krishna tells. That you fix your consciousness upon me. How do you fix your consciousness upon something? Or what is being conscious about something? How do you become conscious about something?
When we started caring about it,
Caring. Okay.
or we tend to get interest in that.
Okay. Say you're talking to someone, face to face. But there is a person sitting next to you. Okay, somewhere on the side, sitting there, okay, next to you. But he's watching you. You're not watching that person, but you're just talking to someone face to face. You're talking to someone face to face, you're doing that thing, but that person looking at you, you may be conscious of that person, right?
Something like fascinated.
No, no, no. Nothing like that. But you know there is someone watching you, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're not talking to that person, even if you're not looking at that person, you'll still know that someone's sitting next to you, right? And watching you.
Yes.
You might even tell this person, if you're talking to the person, is your friend, तेरे को पता है ये बंदा बैठा है बाजू में मेरे को constantly देख रहा है. Yeah, that means you're conscious about that person. This is how your consciousness is. This is not your I, it is your consciousness. Experience कर सकते हो तुम उसको. You're conscious about the surroundings. Similarly, when you think about Krishna's lotus feet, when you think about Radharani's lotus feet, when you are not engaged with the sense objects, yeah. So when you get the time when you are engaged with the sense objects, वो consciousness side से आती है. Does it make sense? क्या बोल रहा हूं मैं? This is what this verse is. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. बुद्धि इसको बोलते हैं. So we are not trying to say, for example, in a party, and say, for example, you had a few drinks with your friends. उस टाइम पे तुमको माला निकाल के चैंटिंग नहीं करनी है. It will not match. होगा नहीं. ये तब करनी है जब तुम पार्टी में नहीं हो. तो जब पार्टी में बैठोगे, तो जब कुछ सेंसेस को भोगने की कोशिश करोगे, तब ये ध्यान में आएगा, कॉन्शियसनेस होगी. जैसे साइड में कोई आदमी बैठा है, अरे यार मैंने वो किया था, that was more tastier than this what I'm doing. Why don't I go back to that? अभी नहीं, इन बाद में. तो धीरे धीरे क्या होता है कि तुम जब चैंटिंग करते हो ना ज्यादा, तो ये आता है उधर पार्टी. उल्टा भी होता है फिर. But then, because you are in a higher taste, it is easier for you to take that thought away. Is this making sense, what I'm saying? Yeah. Sushma Mataji?
Prabhuji, can you please come again?
Okay. Now I will let one of you who has understood this explain. Vishakha or Kalpesh, if you have understood this concept 2.61, please explain in your own way. Yeah, I'll leave the platform to you.
Yeah, okay, I can start. I think 2.661 is a lead up to the verses that have followed 2.61, because in the previous verses, Krishna talks about dominating the sense from sense objects, but that can only be done when your senses are engaged in a higher taste. And so in the following verses, like 61, he says that if somebody fixes their consciousness upon me, which indirectly is a higher taste, it'll be easier for that person to restrain his senses or terminate his senses from other sense objects. Because otherwise, the sense objects are very strong and impetuous. They won't let you terminate your sense from them. And one who is able to do that is a person of steady intelligence.
Very nice. Very well said. Kalpesh, do you want to add something or explain in your own way?
Yeah, I understood there are three parts to it actually. And this line is like very well set in the translation. The first thing is like, if you are under an influence of your surrounding, and at that time, if you are able to, restrain from doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, and while you are about to go into slippage, try to think about Krishna consciousness. And if at that time, if you are able to overcome, if you're able to overcome and control your senses, then that is a person Krishna calls that is a steady person and is an intelligent mind.
Very nice. Think you both have understood in your own way. I think the idea has sunk inside you. So, Sushma Mataji, have you got any gist? Did you get anything out of it?
So what I understood, Prabhuji, like Krishna is saying, when you fixes a consciousness on me, uh, matlab ki sthirta. So when you put it on me, then that's when you become a steady person.
Okay. So these two verses, like, from 59 onwards, 60 and 61. 59th verse says that you terminate. You should not engage your senses to enjoy sense objects, which is very difficult. Correct? Correct if I'm wrong, Sushma.
Yeah.
Yes? Say, for example, you like something to eat, it's very difficult to get detached from it and not eat. Say, for example, meat. You enjoy the taste of meat, but you can't give it up just like that. For that, you need a higher taste, a better taste than that. Only then you can give up that taste, right?
Right.
So Krishna says in next verse that how do you do that? And the better taste for any sense objects, is the thought of Krishna. The consciousness of Krishna himself is a better taste. And how do you achieve that? Not at the time when you're enjoying, not at the time when you're eating meat. No. At that time, you may not be able to fix your mind on Krishna. When you do that is when you are not enjoying the senses. जब भी दारू नहीं पी रहे हो, जब पार्टी नहीं कर रहे हो, जब मीट नहीं खा रहे हो, उस वक्त आप टाइम निकाल के भगवान का नाम लो. टेक योर थॉट्स टू कृष्णा एट दैट टाइम. तो क्या होगा उससे? जब आप फिर से पार्टी करोगे, जब आप दारू पियोगे, जब आप मीट खाओगे, जब वो करोगे, वो टाइम पे एक साइड पर्सन, साइड में जैसा बैठा होता है, हम जब कोई भी किसी से बात करते हैं तो साइड में कोई बैठा होता है, उसका भी ध्यान हमें होता है. उस वक्त हमें भगवान के नाम का ध्यान आएगा. इट्स ए वेरी प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच टू कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस. तो जब हमें ध्यान आएगा कि नहीं, उसका टेस्ट ज्यादा बेटर था इससे, अगर हमको लगेगा ये, तो ही हम इस टेस्ट को छोड़ पाएंगे. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is 2.61. Everyone on the same page?
Yes.
Let's go to 2.62. So now Krishna explains from here how we get entangled into doing something wrong, which we don't want to do. Okay? Say for example, now you have some consciousness of Krishna, ठीक है? लेकिन फिर भी हो रहा है, फिर भी हम लोग फिसल रहे हैं. हाँ? वो क्यों, कैसे होता है, ये प्रोसेस अब कृष्ण बताएंगे. Yeah? So this is a series of verses. Series है 2.62 or 2.63 together. So I'll open both. So how we actually get entangled into doing something which is not right for us. Correct? Yeah. Do you agree to the fact that illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication is not right for us?
Yes.
Anyone who thinks these are right things to do?
One of them is right to do, eating meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because other thing we know what are the consequences. but meeting it is something, it's in your daily part of life, so it is something you are eating it. So eating
Okay.
doesn't does any harm until unless you feel like, yeah, मांस खाना गलत है, something that you developed inside yourself, then yes.
Okay. So if at all you are eating meat and you're feeling it is okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
But if you get a higher taste than meat, then you might give up meat, correct?
Yes, I may give up. Yeah.
No, not you, anyone for that matter,
Yeah.
correct? So
Yeah.
only I used to eat meat as well. The reason why I gave up is because I found a higher taste somewhere else. And that is exactly what is Bhagavad Gita saying. So if someone tells you don't do that, you may not understand. But if he gives you a better option than the before one, बोलेगा वो छोड़ यार ये खा, बोलेगा हाँ ये तो मैं खाऊंगा, वो नहीं खाऊंगा. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
That's how it has to work. Not just that कि आज से खाना बंद कर दो, ऐसा नहीं होता है. वो क्वेश्चन है क्यों पहले तो क्यों खाना बंद करूं मैं. मुझे भी तो लगना चाहिए खाना बंद करना चाहिए मुझे. और
I think
तभी ही
ऐसी
लगेगा.
चीज है,
हाँ सॉरी.
sorry to cut you.
Yeah, yes,
ऐसी
Sushma.
चीज है, until and unless you realize yourself internally, you can't give up things.
So Krishna says that you will only realize to give up things when you find something better.
Okay.
Yeah. ये है 2.59. He says विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिन. क्योंकि मीट खाना आप छोड़ दोगे लेकिन उसकी याद तो रहेगी ना. वो थोड़े दिन के बाद छोड़ दोगे आप, फिर याद आएगी अरे यार वो तो अच्छा था, वापस आप खाने लगोगे, तो यादें नहीं जाएंगी. अगर वो याद तक मिटानी है उसको, तो उसके लिए आपको बेटर टेस्ट चाहिए. तभी वो टेस्ट रजिस्टर होगा नया. तो पुराना टेस्ट रजिस्टर नहीं होगा, फिर नया टेस्ट रजिस्टर होगा, उसकी याद आएगी. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. ये है 2.59. ये बहुत वेरी प्रैक्टिकल वर्स है, ये वेरी प्रैक्टिकल वर्स. अगर 2.59 समझ में आ गया ना आपको, बड़ा आसान है हमें रेगुलेटिव प्रिंसिपल्स पे चलना बड़ा आसान हो जाता है. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वर्स वेरी नाइसली. ओके. सो बेटर टेस्ट के लिए वी हैव टू try better taste. That is one thing. Now 2.62. What is Krishna saying here? That how someone who is, already into that mode, who has the higher taste. अभी हायर टेस्ट मिल गया समझो. आपने कृष्ण प्रसाद खाया, बहुत ही अच्छे चने बने थे, फुल ऑफ प्रोटीन, वेरी टेस्टी. उसके सामने मीट का टेस्ट अच्छा नहीं लग रहा था आपको. उसके बाद बड़ी अच्छी चीजें बनी थी, बहुत दूसरी चीजें बनी थी. सो यू डिडंट ईट मीट एंड यू एट दिस. नंबर 1 हो गया एक दिन. थोड़ी देर के बाद, थोड़े दिनों के बाद, यू अगेन हैव द क्रेविंग टू ईट मीट. करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग सुषमा. कल्पेश. यस.
Yes, Prabhuji.
वो क्यों होता है, ये यहां से शुरू होता है 2.62 से. Okay, that is the reason of this verse. You understand the situation now?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Yes.
Yes, Kalpesh?
Yep.
Make sense? So now we had a higher taste. We enjoyed the higher taste, forgot about the lower taste. But after a few days, again, I'm going back to the lower taste. Why? It starts here. So 2.62, please repeat after me. Dhyayato vishayam punsah
ध्यायतो
यतो विषयन् पुंसः
sangateshu pajayate
सङ्गतेषु
सङ्गतेषुपजायते
प्रजायते
नात् sanjayate kamah
सङ्गात्
सङ्गात्
सञ्जायते
सञ्जयते
कामः
कामः
कामात् क्रोधभिजायते.
कामात्
कामात्
क्रोधोऽभिजायते
क्रोधभिजायते.
Contemplation भाई अगर कॉन्स्टेंटली हम लोग उसके बारे में सोचते हैं ना, किसी चीज के बारे में, बिकॉज ऑफ द टेस्ट ऑलरेडी रजिस्टर्ड इन अवर माइंड, कुछ भी हो सकता है वो। इट कैन बी ईटिंग, इट कैन बी इंटीमेसी विद समवन, इट कैन बी इंटॉक्सिकेशन, इट कैन बी गैम्बलिंग, कुछ भी। कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो रजिस्टर हो चुकी है माइंड में, उसके ऊपर अगर हम लोग बार बार सोचते हैं ना, तो क्या होता है उससे? उससे हमारा अटैचमेंट बढ़ता है। ध्यायतो विषयम पुंसा संगम तेषु उपजायते। We start building an attachment for that sense object. यहां से शुरू होती है जर्नी हमारे और कंटेम्पलेशन कहां पे होता है? थॉट्स। और थॉट कब आते हैं? जब हम लोग बैठे होते हैं, कुछ नहीं कर रहे होते हैं। करेक्ट? देन वी स्टार्ट थिंकिंग, कंटेम्पलेटिंग। अरे यार, उस दिन ये किया था मैंने, कुछ भी, बड़ा मजा आया था। ठीक है, यहां तक ठीक है। लेकिन उसके में और थॉट में, अरे यार ये फिर से आना चाहिए मुझे थॉट, इसमें तो मजा आ रहा है। दैट इज कॉल्ड कंटेम्पलेशन। You keep on thinking about it over and over, and that slowly builds attachment, sangha. You start, you are not enjoying that, in fact you are being enjoyed by that thought. Okay, आप खुद ही enjoy हो रहे हो उस thought में, मैं वेट कर रहा था इसके। Contemplation constant, and then what happens after that? And from such attachment sangam sanjayate kamah, you develop lust. अभी लस्ट का मतलब ये नहीं है सिर्फ इंटीमेसी या फिजिकल इंटीमेसी, खाली वो मतलब नहीं है। लस्ट का मतलब कुछ खाने के लिए भी हो सकता है। लस्ट का कुछ भोगने के लिए, कोई भी चीज भोगना जो हमको होती है, मन करता है, तीव्र डिजायर होती है कुछ करने की, वो उसको भोग को लस्ट कहते हैं। अपने सेंसेस को तृप्ति करने के लिए वो करना है। भूख मिटा के लिए खाने को लस्ट नहीं कहते। प्यास लगी है, पीने को लस्ट नहीं कहते, पानी को। लेकिन वही पर्टिकुलर चीज खानी है, वही पर्टिकुलर चीज पीनी है, इसको लस्ट कहते हैं। डज इट मेक सेंस?
Yeah.
क्योंकि वो अटैचमेंट से बिल्ड होती है, संग से। मेरे को वही खाने का है, मेरे को वही चाहिए, क्रेविंग, दैट इज डिजायर। नॉर्मल भूख लगी है, खाना खाना, उसको लस्ट नहीं कहते। ठीक है? सो व्हाट हैपेंस? लस्ट डेवलप्स। संगात संजायते काम, कामात् क्रोध अभिजायते, एंड दैट लस्ट, जो क्रेविंग है ना, दैट इज द रूट कॉज ऑफ एंगर। व्हाई एंगर? क्रोध क्यों आता है उसमें साथ में? क्रोध क्यों है उसके साथ, काम के साथ?
क्रोध तभी आएगा जब if you're not able to fulfill that thought.
If you're not able
And
to fulfill desire.
correct, and exactly why krodh comes in, because 100% Krishna says that desire will not be fulfilled even if you get it.
Hmm.
99% of the times the thought of enjoying is more satisfying than actually having that sense object. Is it making sense? Suppose you like a person, you want a relationship with a person, वो उसके बारे में सोच के जो मजा आता है ना, वो एक्चुअली मिलने में नहीं आता। ऐसा 99% टाइम्स होता है, ये कृष्ण कहते हैं। How good is that, na? कोई चीज मुझे खानी है, उसके बारे में सोच के यहां से, ये मेरे साथ बहुत हुआ है previous times. बहुत. I'll tell you this. This is a real time thing. I had a craving for eating certain thing in Agra, not Peta, something else. Okay, in Agra I wanted to eat something. I went there after Vrindavan. But being there inside on that street, having that particular food item in front of me, I didn't have the craving to eat it. After looking at the surroundings, after looking at the way it was getting prepared, and I saw it somewhere, and I had a craving for months. Ki main yaar ye, I want to try that. Of course, it was not meat; it was something else. But I didn't have the liking for it when I went there. So Krishna says that 90% of the times your desire will be unsatisfied. Call it relationship, call it food, call it intoxication, call it gambling, whatever it is. Any kind of thing you call it, your desire will be not satisfied. And that is the cause of anger because you're unsatisfied. वो अंदरूनी जो गुस्सा है ना, grumpiness, उसकी बात कर रहे हैं कृष्ण. Because you're unsatisfied. You will find this. You will see people. बहुत पैसा है उनके पास. Lot of money. Old people. But their unsatisfied desires, their anger, grumpy. Sometimes you wonder, यार इसके पास तो इतना पैसा है, ये क्यों गुस्से में रहता है हमेशा? Because he is unsatisfied. You don't know his unsatisfaction. You don't know his dissatisfaction. But he knows his dissatisfaction. So, kamat krodha vijayate. Is this making sense?
Yes.
बहुत deep है ये. बहुत
Hmm.
deep है ये. If it touches you there, na, you will understand this very clearly. Now, next verse. It's a connection to this. It's a continuation of this. Krodha is where that verse left. Krodha bhavati sammoha. And that krodha which you have inside, constant grumpiness which is there because of dissatisfaction, that bhavati sammoha. Sammoha means, what is sammoha? It creates delusion. Delusion. What is delusion?
You think about something which is not true. It's just in your mind.
What is that called?
Chalawa, Maya, something.
Simple terms में बताओ.
Chalawa, I guess.
Lack of reality, lack of clarity.
Yes.
It's a major problem in today's times. Lack of clarity. You might see people highly intelligent, लेकिन clarity नहीं है. Knowledge बहुत है, लेकिन clarity नहीं है. You'll find such people. काम करते हो कैसे लोगों के साथ? दिखेंगे लोग knowledgeable है यार ये तो बहुत, लेकिन clarity नहीं है. Suddenly he will say something which is even not common sense. तो यार तो पागल है. तो दिखता खाली इंटेलिजेंट है. बड़ी बड़ी पोजीशन पे ऐसे लोग देखोगे. You'll find them. Lack of clarity. That is called delusion. Have you experienced? I have. Many. Have you experienced such people with lack of clarity? You can only experience when you understand what is clarity. You will see people with lack of clarity. I'm not saying I'm fully clear, but have experienced a bit of clarity. If you experience clarity, then you will know what is delusion. And this is what we should thrive for. Never thrive for knowledge. Never thrive for higher degrees. Never thrive for big, thrive for clarity. Because if you are clear about doing something, it will help you a lot. And that is the path to success, rather than being confident or knowledgeable. Thrive on clarity. So, delusion, lack of clarity comes in when? Because of krodha, anger. So you will realize for yourself, when anger comes, the intelligence level is low. You're not able to respond well. Your response times and your responses are not accurate in anger. और एंगर पता पड़ता है कि मैं अभी एंग्री हूं अंदर से. I'm getting angry, I'm getting angry, I'm getting angry. And you lose that response, the capacity to respond, because you are deluded. You are not able to see clearly. When someone is angry, he's deluded. He can't see things clearly. That's what Krishna says. So beautiful, isn't it? Sammoha smriti vibhrama. And that delusion, what happens? You have bewilderment of memory. Memory में शेक होने लगता है चीजें. When smriti भ्रमशः buddhinasho, buddhinasha prashyati. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. So it hits your buddhi. And when buddhi is, when buddhi, when intelligence is lost, when buddhi nasha, there is buddhi is lost, what do? You fall back into that lower thing which you used to do. वापस उसमें चले जाओगे मोड में. Because when you are in a state of pain or suffering, you fall back to your lower taste or your lower state. Most of the times. So all starts from contemplation. Okay. So we'll end our discussion here. These verses are jewels. Really philosophical and very deep. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Rishi.
Prabhuji, this initially when we discussed, we talked about how once you're in your journey towards spirituality and towards liberation, in one lifetime, if you don't reach there, the beauty is that you start. It carries on to your next body, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So in this case, if such a thing happens, somebody is on this spiritual journey, they are on their journey, and there are points where they lose their,
They fall down. Yep.
they fall down.
Yep.
What happens? Are we still like what happens at that point?
Yeah. So whatever you have accumulated, that is called bhaktonmati shukrati. So whatever spiritual progress you have done, it is accounted. And whatever goodwill you have created in this world, in this material world, is called bhogonmati shukrati. Whatever good deeds you have done. So that is accounted, this is accounted. Based on your Bhoganmati Shukrati, you get a body. Based on your Bhaktormati Shukrati, you get your devotional service back from the next life. Does that answer your question?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Yes, it's clear. I was going through the purport. There was something mentioned about impersonalists. Maybe we don't have time today, but we can
No,
touch
I
on that.
can. Who are impersonalists? So person and imperson. So impersonalists are who think that the Supreme is not a person.
Oh, Shunyavadi.
That is a different one as well. But this is someone who thinks Nirakar.
Nirakar Brahma. Okay. Yes.
That who thinks that the Supreme Lord is Nirakar. He doesn't have any form or shape, or is not a person.
Okay.
So they don't believe in a spirit who has a form. So to understand, it's very simple. Like we have this body, which is material body with gross senses. Similarly, there is a soul inside us that also has its form. Like how this body has a form. Similarly, that soul also has a form. So has Krishna, has its form. So that spirit soul, which we have, which we are, has a shape and a form. And Krishna is also with same quality, but bigger quantity. So we are a fraction of him as such. He is a whole. So we are same in quality with him, but not in quantity. To answer you in brief. Yeah. So the impersonalists are those who think that the Supreme Krishna is not having any shape or form.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Was it too deep today?
Oh, very
Was it
logical.
all right? Logical? Good. Good. If you've understood all these verses, yes, very nice. These are easy to implement if understood well. These are not difficult verses to implement if understood well. Yeah. Okay, so we'll continue our discussion from next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.